What's up, my friend? This is Chad here, and this video is very important to me because I'm making it specifically for my younger self. And if you clicked on, you likely probably already resonate with my younger self. And it's this idea that you're not supposed to know what business to start yet. And I'm going to go through a little bit of my situation, why I was stuck after college, why I was lost, trying to make stuff work, trying to escape unfulfilling work and find freedom in my life, and why I was getting nowhere, and the progress that I've kind of made now where I've been able to have more freedom, improve my income, and set up my life a bit with a nice trajectory for the long term and doing things that I'm passionate about. I want to rewind back to when I was just graduated. I had no clue what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I want to use my degree for. And I was working in restaurants, and I was just working as a bartender to kind of make money. And then eventually I did land. I leveraged my degree and made a resume and landed like a nice job. It was great. It was great to get actual experience and put my degree to work. And I just realized, and there was this hunch in the back of my mind the whole time. Like once I got out of school, that I didn't really think that I wanted to do this 9 to 5 thing, or just, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I didn't want to just save money until I was 60 and retire and just climb the corporate ladder. I wanted to do something creative. I wanted to build something. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to travel, have cool experiences, and break out of my hometown. I was stuck in my parents' basement at the time and just didn't know how to get out. And I wasn't making enough money, frankly, to be comfortable enough to get out. So if you're watching this, you're likely drawn in a similar situation, drawn to entrepreneurship, drawn to unconventional way of living and trying to be against the grain and do things that are different than what people typically advise you to do and what college tells us to do, what school has taught us, what is a good path for us, right? You likely want to do something else. And that's totally me. And I struggled a lot. So I know exactly how you feel. Like, I was just 2 years ago living in my parents' basement, like I said before. And yeah, I was working this job that was kind of like just mundane admin tasks every day. And it was crazy hours, and I was doing a ton of work. And I remember the hardest days were like working from 7 a.m. to like 6 p.m., just managing like invoices and tasks and just numbers work like on a keyboard. And yeah, things were okay. Like, I was on self-improvement. I was improving myself. I had a great social life. I was going out on the weekends, had a ton of friends in my hometown and everything. And eventually I just couldn't take it anymore. Like, I was just stuck in this routine cycle, it felt like, and I didn't know how to get out. I lacked meaning. Like, I had this void inside of me that I couldn't ignore. There was just this hole. It was like, I'm not doing the right thing. I need to be I'm called for something different. And I remember there was one day I was working, and it was like 2 p.m. or something. I was sitting at my desk, and I just stood up, and given I was home, I was actually working remote. But I was sitting at home at my desk, and I just remember getting up and looking in the mirror and just saying to myself, like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to build something of my own. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to take the risk. And I'm going to do it. And I just said that. And there's this author that I really like. His name is MJ DeMarco, and he writes great books on entrepreneurship. One of the best ones, in my opinion, being Unscripted, where he talks about just society in general and how to understand kind of the general life path and how to position yourself so that you can live an above average life. And entrepreneurship is, he said, the vehicle that is the best way to do that long term, right? So, but there's this idea that he had a breaking point, and he believes that every successful entrepreneur has a breaking point, and he calls it the fuck this event, the FTE. And I believe that I really had one of these, where all this pain and all this friction and all this being stuck in a mundane routine that I just couldn't take anymore. It all built up pressure, and eventually I completely bursted out, and I was like, I just can't do this. And luckily it happened sooner rather than later. I think I was just 23. So just 2 years ago, I completely was just like, I can't take it. So then what I was doing after that, like after this period of fuck this event, FTE that happened to me, I started to do things on the side. I started to watch content on like how to make money online, how to build these businesses. And I was doing a ton of different things. Like I was doing drop shipping. I was building an Etsy store to try to sell like digital art. And I made like a print on demand store to try to sell clothes. I was just trying to make money quick. And I was selling beats. I was also into making music, which I still am as a hobby, but I was trying to like do it for money, and it just wasn't rolling in right. And I was rushing things. And because I was in this pure pursuit of money and make money now, I was jumping from thing to thing and not seeing anything through to the extent that I needed to for it to succeed. And this was the problem that I was in. And this might be where you're at if you're watching this video. Maybe you're trying a ton of different things, trying to figure out that best thing to get into, that best business to start, that best make money method that you can find. And maybe it's not working, right? That's how it was for me. And I totally understand where you're at. And you're in such a state of pain and you want to break out and you want to make money from your laptop and travel and be free and move out of your hometown. So I'm going to give you a practical understanding of how I've been able to do this for myself, essentially, or increase this a massive level that I'm super proud of and that I think will help you out dramatically if you're someone who resonates with that. So after all these failures, I learned the biggest lesson of all, which is that all the successful people in the world think very, very long term. And this is what I learned. So long term, you have to really think like even decades out, even like a decade out, you have to choose a business that you're going to be wanting to do a decade from now, or that a business or a mission, a purpose that you're going to want to carry out like years. And that's how it's successful, because everything is hard. There's bumps in the road for everything. So the people that are successful are in it because they love it, because they're passionate about the thing. And so that's what I learned. And I was like, shoot, okay, well, cool. Well, then I was just stuck again. I was like, well, what am I even passionate about? What the hell is the right thing? What am I going to do long term to escape my situation? And I was discouraged at the same time, because I was like, well, I'm stuck I'm working a job that's stealing away my entire week almost. And I have to think long term, and I have to do this for a decade out. Like I didn't know what to do. I was wasting the majority of my week doing something I didn't even care about, that I didn't see how it contributed to my long-term vision. And this is where I was at. So I was stuck at a forkroads at that point. So you might be thinking, well, why don't you just quit your job? And I was living at my family, like my parents' house. And yeah, I didn't really have to pay bills, and I was in a good spot there, but I just couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to break out. I wanted independence. I was, a young man trying to break out and do good for himself and also build the life that he wants. So I had like two choices. I could either quit, and this was still just 2 years ago. Like I'm 25 now. So I've made a lot of changes quick, but I had the choice to quit my job completely and just stay at home until my business takes off, whatever it would. I don't even know what it was going to be. Or I could find a job that could supplement my current 9-to-5 job, my last 9-to-5 job, and that would actually be helping me build skills that would contribute to this long-term plan, this long-term success to create the life that I want, do a business that I'm passionate about, and explore my creativity more and figure things out, since I'm still young and figuring things out. So I had those two options, and I want to discuss why I think that the second option is the best, to supplement your income now so that you can pay some bills, move out of your hometown, get some freedom, and then think really long term and use your free time, which you'll have more of, basically, like to plan what you want to do with your life and start building those key foundations and figuring out where you really want to help the world on the side until you can go all in. And I think that's the best route, because not everyone just has the luxury to stay at home and throw stuff at the wall until something works. And frankly, with this key learning that I had and realization of needing to think super long term, well, the way that it works is you don't chase the money. You chase what you want to do, and you find work that you actually really want to do. And that takes time, and that takes experimentation. So I don't think it's actually the smartest move, in my opinion, to just cut everything off, live at home until I build something. Because there's a couple of reasons. Well, one, it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs 101. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm going to put a picture on screen right now. You see at the bottom, there's physiological needs like food, sleep, water, and then it goes up to safety, shelter, finances, ability to pay bills. And then higher than that, it goes on to actually like self-actualization, like improving yourself to the maximum or focusing on actualizing your full potential or achieving spiritual growth, right? This whole pyramid basically is just Maslow, super well-known guy, philosopher, who, I think that's the right word, who basically figured out the human condition and how we work in terms of improving ourselves and the needs that we need to have solved and the ones that are next urgent. If you look at it from this standpoint, how can I really focus if building a business needs to be something that I'm passionate about? How can I focus on that if I don't have these bottom layers figured out? Like, if I'm just stuck at home, barely able to pay bills, like not everybody even has the luxury to stay at home. Maybe you can't. Maybe like your parents are forcing you out, or you don't have enough space in your house anymore because you came back from school and now your room is taken, right? Like, I think you need to pay bills and solve this money issue so that you can be calm and build an environment and get your own place or move out at least, and get yourself in an environment to like travel and experiment things to figure out what you want to do, right? You need to like expand your circle a bit and be able to pay your bills and buy quality food so you have good energy and good headspace to figure out what it is you want to do. So I think a lot of people like have this advice to just go all in and lock yourself in a room until your business takes off. But I don't think that's the case. And this chart really shows that you need to kind of calm down your survival. You need to get money so that you can pay bills, live, and yeah, experience life while you're young. I don't think it's smart I don't think you're supposed to know what business you want to start yet. I think that the best way to do it, in my opinion, and what I've learned from mentors, is think so long term. Think very long term, but get a job that contributes to these skills for the long term so that you can have income and then figure out your business on the side. And this is like what I'm doing. And I'm going to talk about what job to get and what I think is the best. But you need money, you need safety, you need to be calm so that you can actually really help people. Otherwise, how can you help people if you can't help yourself, right? It's that kind of realization. So that's when I started to learn about sales. Now in business, there's a ton of skills involved in running an entire business. There's marketing, there's sales, there's product fulfillment, there's customer satisfaction. There's all these different aspects of a business that you're going to have to learn. So why not pick one of them and work under someone else so that you can learn those skills or that aspect of those skills? And I think there's one specific one that's the best, which is sales, because sales is just communication. It's being able to discover problems out there, communicate how you can help or how your solution can help, and you're bridging that gap, which is exactly what you're going to need to do in business. You're going to need to understand how sales works because sales is the lifeblood of business. Without sales, there's no money, and without money, there is no business. So what I did is position myself in a remote sales role. And I'll get into like how I did it, what industry, but like it was the best thing for me. I was able to work remote. I was able to make enough to where I can move out and actually work on the go. Like I was just recently working from Airbnb to Airbnb, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm learning so much as my job. And then on the side, I've been just having a blast making content, and I figured out that my creative personality works the best with this type of business model, with making content and helping other people and coaching and just helping people, writing. Like I love the creative side of things, and that's where my strengths are, and that's what I've been able to figure out over time. But being in sales helped me figure this out, and I still work in sales. I'm having a blast, and I'm doing my business on the side, which I'm passionate about. And I just think this is a great path for people who don't know what business to start, are struggling to get some money, and they want to make 10K a month fast. They want to achieve big things fast and escape their hometown and travel, and they just don't know how to do it. And I don't think the best way in that urgent situation where you're in pain and agitated, I don't think the best way to do that is to start a business if you're in that state. I think you need to level up a bit. I think you need to level up your career a bit, get a good job in a sales role, remote, which doesn't even feel like a job if you're remote because you get to just travel with your laptop and you can move out, work wherever you want, basically to an extent, right? Because you're still working for someone, you got to make sure the time zone is right. But you can level up this massive barrier of being stuck in one place and being stuck doing work that is just draining you and not feeling like it's providing you any value. So I think that play the long game, figure out, like, work on yourself. Like, we're not supposed to have everything figured out this young. And it takes reading, it takes experimenting, it takes going out and traveling and trying new things and seeing what interests you have and solving your own problems and seeing what problems you want to solve for the world. And that takes time. And I think that's the way that I've learned to think about this whole freedom thing, this whole building your life thing. And I watch all these guys like Hamza, Dan Coe, William Brown, and I know all these people in the space that are doing this passion business and doing it. And I just think this is such a good way to build yourself and build your skills and immediately solve and rise like your money issues and rise up this Maslow's hierarchy of needs, like I mentioned before, so that you have headspace to get a nice clean environment. Like, I just moved into a new place and I'm loving it so far. I'm able to set up like my bookshelves, have some nice plants around, and I have the creative space to just work on what I'm passionate about and work in sales as well. And sales is a meta skill, right? So you will still be working a job, right? And the end goal is to have your own business. I know this, and that's still my end goal, but you're no longer wasting time. You're spending all your time building the right skills that you're going to need eventually. Every entrepreneur needs sales, and sales is just self-improvement, basically. It's just helping other people, learning how to communicate better, learning how to find problems out there in relation to how you can help and how your solution can help and how the product that you might build eventually can help. And it's that whole process of bridging that gap and reaching out and finding people and helping them understand the value of what you can offer and making that transaction of cash, which is going to be, if you want freedom, you're going to need to know how to sell and you're going to need to know how to support yourself independently, which sales is that number one skill. So now my weeks are productive because I'm working during the week and I'm building skills that are actually contributing to my long-term vision and actually feeding in to me doing better in my business because I'm learning and learning how businesses run and learning how sales are made and learning all these things and being a better communicator and working on my health, time management skills. Like, there's so much involved in getting a sales role. And I think it's the best foundation. And I actually, if I were to go back, I probably wouldn't have gone to school, just being completely honest. I probably wouldn't have gone to college because these days you don't need a degree to get into sales and to get a good role. I have friends that have done it with no degree. I know a lot of people who've done it and came from places like working at a spa or working at a coffee shop or working as a server who've been able to land pretty solid roles in sales and then started to make a good income for themselves pretty quick. So I probably wouldn't have gone to college if I were to go back. Now, I'm grateful for my experiences and they've been able to help me speak to things now in my story that resonates with other people. But I think the smarter way is like, get into sales. If you know you want to be an entrepreneur and be independent one day, like, sales is a better foundation than college will be for you. So that's my advice on that. But basically, if you're, I'll just tie back to this point of like, if you're stuck and don't know what to do and are living in your parents' house and want to break out and want to travel and want to buy their own stuff and be independent and improve their lifestyle, like, the quickest way to do that is to get a sales job. And knowing that you want to be greater and you called for something greater, sales will help you and build you into the person you need to be that. You're going to learn so much. You're going to learn time management. You're going to learn how to sell. You're going to learn how to position the value of a product or service. You're going to learn how to find problems in relation to the product you solve. Like, you're going to learn that whole process that is necessary for you if you want to be an independent entrepreneur. And this is what I teach now because it solved my biggest problem. It solved my urgency. It got me out of that agitated state. It moved me up this Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I have more headspace and time to focus on things that I care about, like self-development, spirituality, and it gives me time to experiment and figure things out. And You want to find that thing that you really love. And so it takes experimentation to find out what you love. So I hope this video helps. If you're in a state where you don't know what to do, hopefully it inspired you that there's other routes to go than just locking yourself in a room and throwing spaghetti at the wall until something sticks, or risk selling out and just doing something for money instead of doing what's authentic to you. And that's one of the biggest dangerous things that I think having this urgency to make a ton of money real quick is causing for people. So cool. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. And yeah, check out some links in the description on some things that I have a newsletter where you can read deeper about topics like these. I'm building a school right now where you can learn the ropes of what job in sales to get, and how to do sales, and how sales kind of works, and how you can break in to a role if you're interested in that. But otherwise, I hope to see you around the channel. Chat out. Peace.